friends, and welcome to GeekGirlCon. I'm J Fun, she, they pronouns. I am wearing all black, and I have my glasses, my round glasses on, and wet hair, and my little Lucky Charm necklace that is an oyster shell. So I'm pretty excited about this Tuesday's book club, which is You Should See Me in a Clown by Leah Johnson, or is it Leah Johnson? Does it matter?
I'm actually not sure.
It could be both.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm here joined with my other favorite bookie people. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves? Janae,
Sure.
you go first.
Oh yeah, Janae, you go first.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Janae, pronouns she, her. Like Jen, I am a Twitch content producer here with GeekGirlCon, and I am also wearing black. And I also have glasses. And my hair is half up, half down.
The goth kids.
Yeah.
So bad,
Like, there needs to be a distinguishing descriptor.
And that was my son bringing my dog into the room. I'm not going to be uninterrupted today. My name is Tina. I'm the social media manager for GeekGirlCon. My pronouns are she, her. I guess we're describing ourselves. I didn't realize we were doing that. I'm wearing a gray sweater that has some hearts and skulls on it. Of a black background, so I guess we have a theme going.
Yes.
Today.
Yeah, glasses and black tops.
Yeah. Black glasses, hair.
Yeah.
So Janae actually helps pick a lot of the books. So I was just gonna say, Janae, did you want to introduce the book and then I can read the summary? Or
yeah, I can introduce the book. So
okay.
The book that we picked this month is You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah or Leah Johnson. And it's a young adult book that takes place around prom. And then Jen can give us a quick summary.
Reading the summary because I just want to make sure that I get everything right. But the novel follows Liz Lightly, who hatches a plan to leave the small, rich, prom-obsessed Midwestern town she lives in because she feels too black, too poor, too awkward to live her best life there. And then, dun dun dun, suspense happens.
Drama unfolds. Yeah.
The drama unfolds. I mean, Midwest small town. What else?
Yeah.
So the icebreaker question is, what is your favorite prom themed movie or a movie that has a prom or dance scene in it? Anybody? Let's go with Tina. Because now I'm curious.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of hinted that you might not like my answer, mostly because I did not go to a traditional prom, one, nor do I think I ever purposely watched a movie that was about prom. So I don't know that I have an answer for this one. I do. I don't even know. Like, I can look up prom movies and tell you which ones I've seen, but nothing really, like, jumps out.
Or so any movie with, like, a high school dance scene.
Yeah. Like, what's the one with Ducky? Pretty in Pink?
Oh, yeah, Pretty in Pink? Or is that 16 Candles? No, I think it's Pretty in Pink.
I did watch that. I just didn't really, I don't know. I didn't associate a prom dance.
Did you watch Carrie? That's kind of prom. Carrie has prom.
It is about a prom, but I don't like scary movies, so I didn't watch that one.
Oh.
I also don't like scary movies.
I don't have an answer.
It's okay.
I did go to prom. Here's a little prom story about Tina. I did not go to prom at my school because it was very small, parochial, Midwest. There was no dancing allowed whatsoever. It was basically my life was footloose. Wait,
Okay,
Footloose.
I was just gonna
So
ask.
that was it.
Yeah.
That's my movie pick. I just forgot about that. That's my movie pick because
You,
that's what I wanted in my at the time, but it didn't happen. So I had a friend who was a year younger than me, and he went to regular public school. So when I was a freshman in college, he asked me if I would go to prom with him, and I was like, heck yeah. So this kid had the best prom date because I was older and in college, and I didn't have all the little frilly dresses on that all the other girls on. I had like a college girl dress on. So I was like sophisticated at 18. I don't know. But that's my story. Yeah. So I guess my
That's a
movie
great
pick would be Footloose.
yes. Footloose is a good one.
great movie.
Footloose. I still don't know all the
Yeah.
lyrics to that song.
Me neither. But I
Janae,
do
what would
like the song. Very catchy.
yes.
Yeah.
I love that story though. Janae, what's your
Yeah. Okay. So as I was thinking about it, I was like, I actually have several. Okay.
do it?
The first one, High School Musical 3. There's a whole prom scene number, and it's
There is.
great. Um, and I just really like High School Musical, the series. And then let's see. I also picked Mean Girls just because I really like Mean Girls, but that's technically spring fling and not prom. But I'm like, yeah, prom also takes place during the spring. Maybe their prom theme was spring fling. So
Yeah.
yeah. Oh shoot. And then the other one that I really enjoyed was called The Prom. It is another musical. It was recently in Seattle. But it's a stage production originally, but then Netflix made it into a movie a couple of years ago. I think it's like Nicole Kidman's in it, Meryl Streep,
Oh.
James Corden, Michael Key's also in it, but it's like about these four big like Broadway stars who go to this small town in Indiana that to help this girl who wants to bring her girlfriend to the prom, and the PTA at the school's like, no, like you can't do that, and she like protests and stuff, and they're like, we'll bring like big Broadway names to this story to get, nationwide attention on it. And it's just like a fun movie. I recommend it. The music is
That's
also like
cute.
very catchy. Yeah. So those
I
are my
yeah,
top three.
I like that. That sounds cute. I had like a very weird prom, like kind of like I grew up in a small town in Texas. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone knew everyone, and my brother just happened to be like a big football star, and he's 11 months older than me. So we ended up going to prom together. Um, both proms, just my junior year, not my senior year because he already graduated. My junior year, I ended up going with them, and it was weird and awkward. I didn't really dance much because it was odd. And then my senior year, I went with like a bunch of people and like one of my best friends, and it was awesome, and I loved it. And but like still didn't do like the senior trip or anything. But my prom movies that I remember are Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the original one, with oh gosh, what's his name? He just like I just had it in my head, but he actually passed away, and She's All That were my two, yeah, because Freddie Prinze
She's All
Jr.
That. It's got like the classic 90s makeover montage.
Like
Very
the
good.
whole thing, and she comes in, and like I love all those little memes that make fun of it. Like all she had to do was take off her glasses. Like
Yeah, but like
she did
I know.
everything. And then Freddie Prince, like he wasn't even rude, but he wasn't sticking up for her, and he should have. But Freddie Prince Jr. was like a heartthrob for me when I was still like I still see him like as chef with like Sarah Michelle Gellar and the stuff they post, and I'm like, oh, you guys are so cute.
Did you watch He's All That?
I did not. I didn't even know that was the thing.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It came out, I want to say it was either earlier this year or last year, and it's a gender swapped version of She's
Nice.
All That. So the popular girl makes over the nerdy guy. I think someone from TikTok is in it. I don't know.
TikTok.
Because like this is a young person's game now. TikTok.
I don't have a TikTok. I remember when I started teaching the kids that were in my English sped class, they made me a Snapchat and they were like, look, miss, you can take pictures and then they go away in seconds. I was like, yeah, or you just don't post a picture. Like, what? Like, there was such a big, like, disconnect between Snapchat and, like, my thinking that I'm like, I just don't get it. But, you know.
Yeah, social media is like constantly changing. And I'm like,
It's
do I
constantly.
need to learn this one? Should
I
I
had
learn this
MySpace.
one?
That was my thing. I could
Yeah.
design my MySpace.
And like your top 8, it was like such a big deal.
Yeah, like,
Who
oh,
was
I'm
in
in
your top
your top
8?
8. Ooh, she moved out of the top 8.
I know. So much drama.
Even
Oh,
though
and speaking of,
what you guys are saying right now. Janae, did you know that your story, the movie, The Prom, was, let's see, based on, it's a real life story.
I did
Field of
not know
Apollo
that.
posted that. Yeah, it says a lesbian
Oh,
couple were lied to where the prom was, but it ended up better because they had a fun time with the disability group that they were grouped in with their prom.
oh.
really
Yeah,
cute.
that kind of makes me sad.
Well, why? Because is it a
Yeah.
sad movie?
Oh, no, that they were lied to about where prom was initially, but I'm glad
Oh, yeah.
that they had a good time still.
Well, I just, getting into the book, like, I feel like the whole, like, you can't have two prom queens or prom kings or two people of the same gender as, the head of prom is absolutely ridiculous. I just don't see any, but I've never been to Indiana, so I don't know. That's where this book is also based. Um, what kind of place it is, but they also have that same rule in Texas, so I don't understand it. I'm like, hey, it's two humans, it's prom. Like,
Yeah.
where, like, it's not a big deal. It's not. So, speaking of the book, let's get into questions. How did the prom experience described in this book align to what your prom experience was like, and did you run for prom court?
This book and my prom experience were completely different. Like, yeah, like, I feel like maybe it was the crowd maybe that I was friends with in high school, but like nobody really made a big deal about prom. Um, and there was nothing like the whole intense experience of like if you ran for a prom court, it was like a whole week event, and it was kind of more like a pageant where you had to do like volunteer work, and there was a scholarship and like money attached to it. It was really, I think there were some signs up, and you voted for people, but I was like, I don't know a lot of these people. Um, and so I did not run for prom court. But yeah, it's just very different. Like I guess my prom experience was just not like any sort of media that I've ever like seen or read. So it was pretty boring.
That Janae, did you say that there was people that had to do like volunteer type opportunities in
Oh
order to
no,
join the club? Okay, so
no,
the what
no.
happened in the book was not your norm. I thought you were saying
Yeah,
it was, and I was like, oh my god, really?
no, oh no, no.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was just like a regular, I don't know, like high school dance that just wasn't at the high school.
yeah. I mean, I shared my experience already. We did not have dances. The school is still in, like, it's still running now, and it does do dances now. I don't know how they run. I don't know if they have, I'm guessing probably not. And then as far as when I actually did go, it was just a dance. So I didn't really have a traditional, like, experience.
I had the Texas prom experience. So, like, we had the popular kids, and you knew who they were, and you knew that they were going to run, and they weren't even signs really. It was just like, oh, well, of course they're going to get it. I did my junior year get nominated for Jivin Junior, Yeah.
What is that?
Or no, it was a sophomore. Sorry, my sophomore year. You could be nominated by the juniors, and that meant you were the coolest sophomore. And I was nominated. I know, this is ridiculous. This is just
It does not
Texas.
surprise me, though. I'm just saying, it doesn't surprise me.
It's just Texas for you. And our prom was held in the gym. We didn't get to go anywhere because I don't know why, something religious and all this stuff. But yeah, so I got nominated for sophomore server, and I had to dress up as a theme of the prom as a sophomore and go to prom and serve the juniors and seniors refreshments and drinks. I know.
Like, this doesn't feel like a prize.
And you get
Does
to
that
serve
make
a
sense?
thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like, my mom was like, "Oh, Joey, like, make sure Jen gets in it." And because I was already a cheerleader that year, and it was such like a speaking of higher rank, like, kind of thing. And I was like, I really don't care. I had to wear this crown because it was like Enchanted Night, and it was really boring. I remember being really tired. Like, why am I here? And that was, yeah. And then the older kids would rank you, who would be the coolest sophomores, or who has likely to be a chance of being some of the coolest. And of course, like, the most popular kids won. But yeah, that was it was so that was my prom court. I definitely did not want to be prom queen. By my senior year, I didn't really want to go to prom, but prom was such a dominant thing in our town that my mom was like, "You have to go to prom." So I went to prom. But like, I was never really into it. I remember taking photos. I have prom photos somewhere, but it wasn't like
That was going to be my next question: is if there was picture evidence of any of this.
Oh, I can put it on the Discord. My hair in one of them, like, I remember, like, the senior one. I remember. I don't think there's one of my junior year, but I had this black and white dress on, and whoever did my hair just did it in like ringlets. Like, there were these, and I had really long hair, so it's like all like, it looks like a lion's mane from The Wizard of Oz after he got his hair permed, and I was just like that. I'm in black and white dress because I'm trying to like not be as frilly as everyone else that was there. Like, and it was early 2000s, so you could only guess what like everyone looked like. It was pretty and crazy. Yeah. But nothing like I don't think you got a scholarship for being a prom queen. I think it was just something that you could put on your resume, like if you wanted to go to Texas A&M or UT or something like that. Like, I think they looked at it, but you didn't get money for it. Yeah. But they
Interesting.
transformed the whole gym and decorated everything, and yeah, it was pretty small town. There's really nothing else. I think they still do it there. I don't know. I
I don't know. Hey, quick shout out to, looks like we have a raid right now. Where did it
don't know.
go?
Ooh, hi.
Viking Blonde
Hello.
raiding us with so many people. We're talking about You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson today. Feel free to share in chat what your prom experiences were.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I want to hear
Yeah.
about all of the prom experiences because I want to
Yeah.
know if anyone else was in a small Texas town that was like
Forced to serve juniors and seniors and then go to prom
and it
themselves.
was
Yeah.
an honor. It was an honor.
It was an
Yeah.
Like, it was, yeah, it's well, and like the whole event, like, I mean, you guys should have seen Friday night football games. It was pretty intense. Like, everything was like really, really big. But yeah, this is gonna be a great, interesting book club conversation. So the next question I have is, what surprised you the most about the book? What?
Honestly, there wasn't anything that like really surprised me about the book. I thought it was and maybe it's because it was a young adult novel. I just didn't feel like there wasn't anything too complicated. Like, it yeah, I don't know. The story was, it was good, but it was easy to read, and easily consumable, but like I guess it wasn't like a thriller, so I wasn't like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Who did it? Is she gonna win? Like I always kind of felt like she had it's not plot armor, but I was always like, she's gonna win prom
Oh yeah.
queen, and she's gonna get the scholarship money. Her brother is gonna be okay. Her grandparents don't need to sell the house, and like she's gonna like get an audition again for the college that she wants to get into. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yep. No, it was a pretty feel good, happy book. I was
Yeah.
still just really. I think the thing that it wasn't surprising, but I guess like fast forward from like when again I graduated like high school in 2002 to now, like why is someone still a bully? Like why are there still bullies that are trying to stop people from doing things that could like better their lives? Like that was the thing that was still surprising, I guess, because I hear and I work with a lot of young people that, but they give me so much hope sometimes. Even when I taught school in like some of the most, rundown areas, the kids were amazing. Like in high school, like they were so good and like had hope. I mean, of course they were high school kids in a rundown area, but like they were positive and like happy. And it really was shocking to see like someone go above and beyond to ruin someone else's dream. That's shocking, but like still surprised that it's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
felt like what was her name? Rachel, I think
Rachel,
was
I think.
the
Yeah,
character. Yeah, it just felt like she was very two-dimensional. Um, and it felt like she was like a very stereotypical like high school mean girl. There wasn't much to her really. They were just like, yeah, I just don't like you. But you never
yeah,
really learn anything about her story to understand like what her motivations were, and I think that maybe would have helped me a little bit. But
I think
yeah,
that was part of how the mechanics of how the book was written, because you only learned about the other characters, the other situations from her point of view. You never really
yeah.
followed Rachel home to figure out what kind of her home life was. And there was often times where she would think like, "Oh, I wonder like what happens at her house," or things like that. So you, and I think that is why like there's a little bit of two dimensionality in the outside of the outside people characters in the book, whereas her immediate circle was a little bit more fleshed out too.
yeah. Like she did have a good group of friends for sure. I think, yeah, I just really don't like bullies. I just don't understand the concept of like wanting to like, I don't know, like make someone else's life miserable for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Like, yes, like your life was hard, but I'm gonna make this person's life really hard. And it's like, why? Or your life is made. You're popular, you have everyone's attention, and now we're just gonna ruin it. Like it just doesn't make sense. But yeah, it's crazy. These people, I don't know. Bullies are weird. So you guys pretty much were just like not much surprised me in the book because it was pretty chill. Um, but do you
The
think
one
like
thing
the
that
oh
I was
go
just
ahead.
gonna say, the one thing that surprised me, but it was more of a fun surprise. Like I literally laughed out loud, and I listened to it too, so maybe it was a little bit like it made a little bit more impact. Was when the French teacher dropped her accent and just like yelled just straight American, like no French accent at all whatsoever. And it just made me laugh. But then she immediately, when she was done yelling, like came back to herself and like then proceeded to be French again. And so I thought that was a little fun surprise. That was probably the only thing that really shocked me.
Oh my gosh,
Pretty
that would have been
funny.
a great part to listen to.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was
It was
great because you have this French accent and she's like going on and suddenly she just drops it and starts yelling at the kids and you're like, "What just happened? What? This teacher's
Oh,
fake?"
yeah.
It was
Well,
hilarious.
like, didn't they mention too in the book that the French teacher is like from the South? or something. Like she's not actually from France. So it's just like this persona that she puts on too.
Maybe they explained it afterwards. If they did before that, I missed it because school is prestigious. You know, you like rich kids go there, so it did not surprise me that the French teacher had a French accent. And then when she dropped it, I was like, "Wait, what just happened? Like, how? Why is this Southern Belle screaming at these kids? You know, that kind of thing." And then she brings back the French, so and continues for the rest of the book to just still be French. So I thought that was funny.
Amazing. I remember listening to that in Audible. You said something, and it made me think of like, I wonder how many of my like Spanish teachers really just said things in Spanish, but really were not had any idea whatsoever. That's awesome.
I mean, here's a fun Tina story. In high school, fun Tina high school story in regards to French. Um, I catch accents very easily. So if I'm around somebody like with a Southern accent, I'll start talking. I cannot watch Ozarks because that will start happening. Like things like that. So I was able to do a really good French accent in high school. I'm not going to do it now. So no, I'm not going to do it now. My friends and I were at Six Flags, this Midwest, and we were in line for a stupid 30-second ride. The things you do as teenagers, a 30-second ride. We were in line for 2 hours, and I was speaking English but with a French accent the whole time. And so we were talking with this other girl, a stranger, and she would constantly talk to my friend first but she's speaking to me. She would never look at me or ask me direct questions, even though I was still speaking English just with an accent. So 2 hours I held it up. It was one of the best, most greatest things I've ever done in my life.
It was pretty awesome.
She had no idea I wasn't from France. She had no idea that I had been to France when I was 13, and I think that little amount of time is what I've kind of used as a like, oh, I've been here and I could say some words, and it was utter ridiculous for 2 hours.
You turned around and just like in a pure American accent said, "Hey, have a good time."
I didn't, though. I had it the whole way through. It was awesome, but I should have. In hindsight, I should have.
We have a couple of things. Fearless Sun said, I absolutely refused to go to prom when I was in school. What I absorbed from pop culture suggested it would be an event I hated, and I found the concept of it to be undermining to be kind of academic experience I wanted from school. It was. I'm not gonna, I mean, I don't know why.
It usually is.
I don't know why. And then Shield of Apollo said, if you want a kind of feel-good book with a 3D bully, I recommend If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo.
Okay, cool.
I'm writing this down.
Yeah, it's a trans FTM. I don't know what FTM means.
Female to male?
Oh, maybe. That makes sense. And then Apocalypse Alyssa, I can't say your whole name on the Prime. I wonder if the pop culture depiction is similar to people's real life experience. Agreed, movie prom looks like way too much drama. And then, thanks for the suggestion. We should add that to our book club list. We just did. Sorry, bully. No. I will agree
that like comment earlier. She says, "Can you imagine if we elected royalty at work?"
Oh my goodness. The concept of royalty is so interesting, and like the fascination with it. Like the Queen's, what was her? It was the Platinum Jubilee, and they like she has no real power anymore, right? She's really just a figurehead, but they like had a 4-day weekend.
Yeah, it was huge.
And there were like all those celebrations, and
a big deal. Yeah. It's kind of a big deal. Yeah.
70 years, yeah. But I think that the thing is, because I follow like the royal, because I always was curious, like, what do they still have? Like, what is the deal? And they're like a public figure, right? So like Kate and William get to like hop around, and it's like if England had a prom and they were like elected
all the time.
Yeah, all the time, and no one really got to vote.
Yeah.
They just kind of
just an inherited title.
And then they get to like wear dresses and jewels, and I never knew why it was royalty. Like, why do you have to be the queen? Like, do you do anything special? Like, the queen of prom at our place just like danced in a circle.
Yeah.
That was it. They like
Did you
danced,
even get to keep the crown? I don't know.
and if you didn't, you could order it from Oriental Trading.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I feel like if there was an incentive for like scholarships and stuff, I would have been more like, let me do it, because I was in debate, I was in public speaking, I did one act play, I did prose and poetry, like I was all over that stuff. Not so much like the prom stuff. No. Yeah. But that's just weird. Oh, sorry, I'm also reading chat. Fearless Son replied to Alyssa, it might also have been an issue because I didn't really bloom until very, very late. I wasn't interested in dancing or anything vaguely romantic. A big part of my aversion to prom was that I felt resentful about the implications that this was a thing I should want to be part of. I feel you, Fearless.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I still have bloomed, to be honest. I hope I don't fully bloom until my deathbed, and then I'll be like, "Hey guys," and then like, that's it. No, I feel like there's just too much pressure in that prom scene. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
I wonder though,
just
like
bad.
all the like media, they build up prom so much. Like, is it actually based off of something, or did Hollywood just kind of build it up for the drama, or and then that inspired
Well, it
real
was in
life? I don't
Greece.
know.
Greece is another prom movie that I can say I like, um, because he danced with Cha Cha in that one. But I don't know actually. I don't know the history of prom. Like who decided?
I just Googled the history of prom.
Oh, Tina, read it.
Is it short for promenade? Like back in the Regency era? I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
I watched a lot of Bridgerton recently.
I want to know what's the history.
See, it is a promenade dance, commonly called prom, a dance party for high school students.
That's
So
it.
promenade is for sure. I guess in other countries it's the debutante balls. So yeah, it's probably just a riff or a continuation of those promenade balls. In the early 20th century, prom was a simple tea dance where high school seniors wore their Sunday best. 1920s and 30s, prom expanded into an annual class banquet where students wore party clothes and danced afterwards. As Americans gained more money and leisure time in the 1950s, it became more extravagant and elaborate, bearing similarity to today's prom. So,
So basically, people just got bored and like,
Yeah.
we're gonna put people
just
to
kept
it.
getting busier and crazier dances. Yes.
Oh, listen, if you don't bloom, it probably just means you're a beautiful fern. Aw, I love ferns because they
Oh.
were around when the dinosaurs were. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was just so much pressure, like finding the prom date, and like my brother was 11 months older than me, so nobody wanted to date Joey's little sister, and it really did have such a big impact on those that never got asked or who didn't do things like that and like didn't go or didn't have the money to go because it's expensive. It really is, and it
Yeah.
shouldn't be. Like it really should. You gotta. I don't know whose idea was it to start running limos at that time, but like 17 and 18-year-olds don't need to be in a limo. But yeah, and let's see. Was Campbell Confidential a force of good or evil?
And so, for context, Campbell Confidential is like the school's social media site. I guess it's
Yeah.
very much like a mix of like Facebook, TikTok, um, and
News
people go
channel. Was
viral
it
on
an
it.
app on their phones?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
senior made it, right? And then it turned into an app. I actually have a really good story for this, but go ahead, you guys. What's your answer? Is it good or
Oh.
evil? I can tell the story if you want to think about it.
I was just gonna say, I feel like it's complicated. I think with like all social media, like it can be good if it's used in a certain way, but it can also be like super harmful for your mental health, especially for like Liz. Like she has had like such like crippling anxiety. I think of it at the very beginning. She even mentions that like she gets so anxious about like messing up and being like caught um
People
by
would
someone
betray.
filming her doing something embarrassing, and like she goes viral, and like she can't handle that level of social scrutiny. So like in that sense, I don't think it was great. um but then in the way that it can create community and like just bring um, kind of people all together. I think it was kind of good in that way. In that it gave Liz, who felt like she was an outsider and kind of on the fringes of the really popular social groups, it kind of gave her a platform to kind of reach out to people who are also like felt like they were on the outside. But that's kind of how I feel about all social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
Evil's a strong word, but I feel like, especially because it was not something that was regulated by the school, like it wasn't the school paper or something where there was supervision, that it was primarily used for blackmail amongst the students. So while evil is a strong word, I was not really, and even in the end, when some of the stuff that was used to benefit Liz was still a manipulation, of course, of sorts. So I would err on the side of evil.
So I didn't realize it was a thing. Like, to have these apps. And my first year of teaching, I worked at a lower income school, and they had a website that was not part of the school that some senior had made a while back, and it had turned into a smash site basically, where people would post pictures of the students and then just talk crazy mess about them, or like spread rumors or spread inappropriate pictures. And the thing with it, why I had so many students, so many, but like 4 girls out of a freshman class, which is a good bit, um, who had to go to the counselor because like these pictures that people got, they don't know how they got them, or these rumors that people said, like someone from a different school told it to like an ex friend or an ex boyfriend, and then they could post on the site, and the school didn't really have any control over it. So it kind of ruined a couple lives, especially female lives, because it seemed to be very driven in a very hateful way. And so in that context, I don't think that anything like that, even social media, I know they can do that. But I felt like this was just even more so because it was hard to even get to the website. Like you would really have to, like, it wasn't something you could Google. You would really have to like type it in to see what these people were posting. And it was pretty intense. And I felt really bad for a few of the students, and there was really nothing we could do because it was freedom of speech, and also because other kids from other schools can post on there or get people to post on there. It ended up being like a spiral of just gossip. And so it was really, really hard to get justice for some students that really needed it. And I tried to help the counselor, like, and the school police, like, come up with some, because there's threats that would go on there and things like that. So I don't believe it's a good thing to have a website like that. Obviously, I don't think it's good to have a website, but if you have an app that, a school can provide for you, where you can post positive things, and it's not just like, bullying or a gossip line, which is hard, I guess, for high schoolers. I think it could be really good to boost people up and could be used in a positive way. But you definitely need some sort of control and some sort of structure, and not just like let a website free to a bunch of minors.
Yeah.
Like it just was a nightmare. So I would like err on the side like it could be good, but also it needs to be supervised. Definitely. Yeah. But it's also scary that these websites just exist and you have a really hard time taking them down because certain freedoms and stuff. It's so weird. But yeah, I'm just glad
What?
I'm not in high school anymore.
Yeah. What
But yeah,
happened to the website? Do you know?
it's still up. It's still up.
Oh,
When I actually changed high schools, the one of my students was on the website, and the pictures were not appropriate, and she was underage, and we had to really fight hard to get them just even like edited to like you know so it was we couldn't get them taken down, but we could have them edited out for her. But of course, like, if you don't know about these things, like if your parents don't know, or if they're too busy working, or, there's these things that pop up that just, I would say that I spent like a good extra 10 to 20 hours during that semester, extra just helping her try to get them down. But there were so many steps that like I had to take or she had to take, and there were certain things I couldn't overstep because I'm just a teacher, and there's like a gray area there because teachers can't really do a whole lot. Like we can help, but there definitely is, for some reason, in Texas at least, a gray area where if we cross that, then even helping a student, like you can get in severe trouble. So you have to constantly, yeah, you have to like work that balance. But as far as I know, it's still up. So yeah.
gosh.
It's like those kinds of things. I feel like just use, like, if you're gonna make something like that, just really try to use it for good. Like there were so many things that they could have been like, hey, we really need this done at our high school. Like, can we get improvements? Or, oh, this person is a great person to talk to for this money, and things like that. But like, yeah, again, it just needs some supervision.
My gosh.
Supervision. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Alyssa said, gosh, I remember the most scandalous extracurricular website around was the site where you could rate how hot your professors were. Time out. What? There was a
Wasn't it like Rate My Professor or something?
what?
I
I only
really thought it was supposed to be like, if you're taking this class, like, should you take this professor or this one? Like,
well,
because they'll
yeah.
explain the concepts better.
I've
But
they had one of those for high school teachers too. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, but that's usually like quality of teaching. I don't know that I've ever seen one about how good they look.
Wait, I don't know if I even had hot professors. I think I had one, and it was
I
a
mean,
black
mine were.
professor. Like, I don't think I had any hot professors, like girl or guys. They just were older. I don't know.
Yeah,
Not that older people can't be
was
hot, but they were like just very conservative older. Like
very conservative. Yeah.
yeah.
also I have like a question about the scale. Like, was it different peppers to rate hotness, or was it like the same peppers, like the higher the number, the hotter the professor? Was it like a jalapeno was like
Yeah,
not
to
really, and
go
then it's like
Carolina
the ghost
Reaper.
pepper, yeah, is like the hottest.
It was supposed to be
Yeah, just have a lot of questions.
how good they
Oh
were
my.
teaching. Okay, so I have gone there to see how a professor was. I didn't realize also it was about hotness. And then Fearless Sun wrote really funny. The only professor you should be rating on hotness are those in the Pokemon game. Yes, thank
Mm,
you, because they are.
yes.
They're
Oh
kind
my
of.
goodness.
They are. They're very attractive. But yeah, I think it was like habanero is like the hottest, and then like I don't know. I don't
A bell
understand.
pepper? I don't know. Yeah.
Here's a cherry pepper for the sweet ones. I don't know. This will probably be one of our final questions because we're 10 minutes out, but did you think that Campbell's obsession with prom and the campaign for prom queen was realistic, or was it overblown for dramatic effect? And what activities have you seen schools go over the top with? Oh man, this question.
I
Bam.
think I might know what your answer is for for the second question, just knowing your background.
Oh, yeah?
But
What's the answer?
I was gonna guess football
Yes.
in
Yes.
Texas.
Oh my god. No, really, it's like mind blowing. Like I went to a friend's wedding a couple years ago in New York, and the guy was a football coach, and I was like, he was sitting at our table, and I was like, man, like football. No, their like outlook on football was completely like healthy and amazing, like positive, and they didn't really care. But I'm like thinking of like my high school experience and middle school and elementary school, like if we got into the playoffs, which we normally did, there would be huge like bulletin board signs like in people's yards and like in the gas stations, and like they painted these individual wooden like football players and cheerleaders, and your stake would go inside your yard and it would say your name and your position, and like being on the team was like amazing, and you got extra prep talks, and like it was, you ran the school, like you, like it was, football was nuts. Like nobody understands football until you go to Texas. And then you're like, this is just a game, right? But then people are just so nuts about it. You go to a UT game, you go to a professional game, like it's insane. And then you leave it and then you think everyone's like that, and you're like, wow, not everyone is like that. And it's still so completely mind-blowing. Like people here with the Seahawks, they're like, oh yeah, they're a great team. I'm like, yeah, they know a couple people that play a couple positions. But like in Texas, like we had Super Bowl and it was like a holiday. My mom would bake and make food all day long, and people would just come over and they'd be screaming at the TV, and then they would record it because my dad would fall asleep, and then they would watch it again the next weekend and still talk about the plays. And like
Oh my gosh,
it's
that's so fun.
insane. Like the highest level, like Friday night, what was it, Friday Night Lights was filmed in
Yeah,
Texas and New Braunfels. Like that is not exaggerate. Like that is exactly how it is in Texas. Like that is Texas football. Yeah. I think it was a little overdone, but it's Texas football. You don't mess with Texas football. Like it was insane. Like I can't, I don't even like football anymore because how much of it was Texas football. Yeah. That's my little TED talk on football, guys.
yeah.
Who's next?
Oh man, Tina, do you have an answer? I have to think about this a little bit.
No, I was trying to think. I mean, no. I mean, the environment, the kind of school that I went to did not have anything over the top. I mean, at all. I mean, you other people might think my school was over the top just because of its, religious nature, but for a Christian school, it was pretty tame. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't
Like,
have like a Christmas pageant or anything like super big or anything like that?
no, we weren't. No, we didn't do that. We didn't. There are some churches that do like bring in the sheep and the camels and all the other crazy stuff. We were not that kind of church. We did put on some plays, but I mean that is kind of. I mean, most high schools have a
Yeah.
theater thing too. So I mean, it really we just did. The craziest thing was we had to wear a uniform, and they were long, ugly plaid skirts for the girls, and the boys had to wear like khaki pants. So that was probably the craziest thing.
Wear uniforms and we were a public school and they were maroon and khaki.
Actually, as a parent of
oh,
kids who went to a public school with uniforms, appreciated it because I didn't have to argue about what they wanted to wear or fight with other kids at school about what they wanted to wear. It was literally these two choices. Go forth. But I also had boys, so they didn't really care.
Yeah. I wouldn't
yeah.
have picked.
I cared that I had to wear a skirt with box pleats and long sleeve shirts. I mean, I cared.
Cared I had to wear maroon. I mean, you could wear maroon, white, or gold, but nobody wore like yellow. And then we could only wear khakis and we could only wear jeans on Fridays, and cheerleaders were allowed to, which was totally mind-blowing. Cheerleaders were allowed to wear their cheerleading uniforms, which under no school ever fit the school code for like
Right.
anything. Like
Right.
our skirts, I would wear tights and shorts under like my bloomers and like it, yeah. It was so weird. Janae, did you have anything in your school?
I would say football was the biggest thing, but definitely not to the level of like what you described. Um, but like it was a big deal. We would have like all the players would wear like their jackets on Fridays or whenever the games were. And we would always have the pep rallies and then like the band would be there and like those stands would be full, but it wasn't anything like as intense as Texas.
Would give speeches, and then the mascot would like dress up, and then they would pick a football player to dress up as the mascot from the other team, and the mascot from our team would beat up the other mascot. And there was like, I wish I had this recorded for you guys, because I feel like now I'm like, did I really live through all that? Oh, Apocalypse says, I get caught behind that version of a prom queen and Christmas pageants. Oh, Christmas pageants. A lot for college applications. Yeah, I mean, if prom court was like like it could help me in college, I probably would have been totally cool with it. But okay, if you guys hear howling, I'm sorry. A fire truck is going on, and my dogs are gonna howl.
Oh, no worries. One second, I have to plug in my laptop.
Things are going awry. Here's a question while you guys are fixing your things. Do you think that after all of the incidences and craziness that happened in the book in regards to how Prom was developed, or like the more so the kids kind of manipulation of the game after Liz wins, spoilers, right? Do you feel like in that world they made changes, or do you think that that school and that system went back to their huge?
I want to think that yes, things changed, maybe in small ways, like baby steps, but there was like incremental change. But honestly, just kind of based off of, my perception of the world and what's happening too, I feel like nothing changed.
Yeah.
Like it's also totally believable that nothing changed.
Hard to hold hope right now with everything going on. I had my breakdown on Sunday, like, uh, um, but I want to believe that, when I went to school there, the one person that was um gay couldn't come out, and he made up a rumor that he made out with me on school bus in a UIL tournament. And I was just like, oh my gosh, because by the time it got to my brother and my family, it was like a big deal. But it was, to save his rep. And I took the heat for it, because later on, like, I kind of caught on. But I would hope there's not, but again, like the bullying, like I would hope there's not anyone that's saying just because you're the same sex, or because of what you believe, or your sexuality or anything like that, that they would stop someone from being a prom king or queen. So
Yeah.
I'm like tearing up, and I'm trying not to.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's just, we need absolutely more love. Like, we need more love. And I don't care in whatever form it comes in, as long as it comes in love and it's kind. And like, I don't understand what's going on with people today.
yeah.
I mean, I just don't. I'm sorry. Like, it just
More
bothers
love,
me
I think, is a
so
good
much.
answer for sure. Yeah. Yeah. More love for sure.
Yeah. Love is love. And we just need to accept more
Mhm.
of that and not care what people do in their own time. Like, we're not a governed, we don't need to have police everywhere in our business. We don't need to have politics in our body. We don't need to have any of that. We just need to live and then see what growth we can make from there. Because right now we're holding everybody back because we're not allowed to grow. And it's really infuriating. That's just my talk. Sorry.
That's your TED Talk.
That's my TED Talk again. I do. Sorry, guys. I know. You get me into politics and things like that, and I'm like, ugh. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. And I just wanted to kind of bring back, yeah, the book is about prom and stuff, but it was about more, you know, it was about her understanding who she was, becoming, you know, trying to figure out if she's a lesbian, if she's bisexual, like does she have a friend, does she not have friends? What's going on with her sister and her mom and the responsibility of, you know, a family without a mom. So she doesn't have a mom. So now she's like the figurehead, so to speak, and holding that when she should just be, you know, a young woman learning who she is. And so there was a lot of deep, heavy topics as well in the book. So if anybody's watching, it's not just about prom. It's definitely, you know, worth diving into and reading. I definitely recommend the book. Great.
Good book. It really, I mean, as someone who is pansexual, like feeling like, okay, is it okay for me to come out here? Do I need to give time? Like, who of my friends is going to take it? Who of my friends are not? And, you know, and there's also like, oh, you married a heterosexual male. And it's like, yeah, but doesn't, you know, exclude anything else. Like, so I definitely recommend this book. It definitely helped me not feel completely helpless like I have been feeling in this world, but it definitely it was so good. It was one of those books. Yeah.
Yeah, I would also recommend it. Yeah, even though it dealt with like a lot, yeah, definitely a lot of heavier topics. I think though ultimately it made my heart happy.
Yeah. It was good to read one of those. We need more of those heart happy
Yeah.
times. And if all of you want to follow more heart happy times, I don't know if Thursday's game A Quiet Walk is that Quiet Walk.
The Quiet Year.
The Quiet Year. Sorry, I don't know why. I keep thinking of Short Hike. That was one of the games because we did that one, and then I'm like, a quiet walk. Like
They go hand in hand.
just put it all together.
Yeah.
Actually don't know a lot about that game. Does anyone know anything about the game? Anybody? Nope. No. No.
No.
I'm pretty
I
bad,
think
like, yeah. But Christina's doing it, and so it should be fun. And I'm excited. And that's Thursday. And then our next book club book is Janae?
Circe by Madeline Miller.
Yes. And on Tuesday, July 4th, we will not be having a Geek Girl, but that doesn't mean you don't have to not riot. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, but I do hope that I want to thank everybody for joining and thank you guys for reading this book with me and, you know, just being amazing humans all around. I appreciate our time together. So, yay, GeekGirlCon.
Agreed.
Oh,
Yay.
and GeekGirlCon will be in person this year. It's
Yeah.
November. What's the date? November 17th. I
Oh
always
my
forget.
gosh. It's on all of our socials. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I know, right? Like I've seen it a
Yeah.
billion times, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure Prime will put it in the chat too, and we'll try to remember some official dates next time we
yes,
stream.
and then we'll post them up because that's going to be amazing. And then I get to hug all these people in person. So GeekGirlCon, we're going to raid our friend Rage Cage Rugger. That name. So we'll start the raid in a couple of minutes or a couple seconds. And thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you on Thursday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.